Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. So you are with me, your host, Simone Milasas. And today I am extremely lucky and grateful and honored to have Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and also a good friend of mine and the most amazingly, freakishly psychic, aware, brilliant man that I've ever met on planet Earth to date. So welcome, Gary.
Thank you. Quite an introduction. I feel like almost overwhelmed by
it. It's just the beginning. It's like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for everything that you be, Gary. And thank you for everything that you have created with Access Consciousness over the years as well. And you continue and you keep going. So just huge, massive amounts of gratitude for that.
Thank you. I definitely don't stop. I don't
No,
give
you
up.
do not.
I might even have to refuse to die. I'm not sure.
Yay! And the world gets excited.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you today about, I just give a bit of a background for the listeners. I've been working with you for, over 21 years, I think it is to date. And forever and a day, I'll come to you and talk to you about something, whether it's with the business or life or anything. And you'll be like, relax. Or as you like to say in Espanol, what is it?
Relájate.
Relájate. It's Gary's favorite word. Right. And he said, relax. Now, I hear him, right? I hear the words. And for years and years and years, I was like, I have no idea what this is, right? But I didn't ask a question. Bad, Simone. And then I was standing in my kitchen one day and you told me to relax again. And Sarah Watt, a friend of mine who we work with, was there. And she looked at me and she said, what does relaxation mean to you? And I was like, God, good question. And I realized I had no idea. And I was, most people look at things like go for a walk. It's like, have a bath, all these things. And I knew that wasn't it. And there was something bigger and greater. So for 3 days, I went for a walk on the beach, long walk on the beach. And I ran this process that I created just to get some clarity. And it's what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, and potency can my body and I be that would allow us to be total relaxation for all eternity with ease, joy, and glory. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. What I noticed after 3 days was time became not relevant. And then when I noticed when time became not relevant, judgment sort of started slipping away and outside of my world. And I'm going to say today, I pretty much went, oh, there you go. I have another awareness, but I guess I stopped asking for more relaxation. It was sort of like, oh, I've got this, but I got the amount that I could quote unquote control, I guess. And now I'm truly asking to explore what is true relaxation. What is that for you, Gary? How would you describe that?
Well, true relaxation. It's like we make choices and we make decisions and we make conclusions and we do all this stuff and you do, thinking that eventually that will create something. And the problem is our do becomes the do of our life. And, it's a different world than that can be created if you're willing to have it. But you have to be willing to have it.
Okay, so that willingness to have it, like that. I mean, I just described
but the willingness
how I had
to have it means you have to not try to judge to determine what you're going to receive.
And there's a quote that I have from a class that you and Dane just did. It was one of our 7-day events. And the quote from you is, never go to conclusion and everything will continue to change. Everything in life is a beginning and nothing is a completion. And it's like, this relaxation occurs when you know nothing is yours. Can you expand on that
Yeah.
for us?
Well, basically, what it boils down to, as long as you think you can control it or you think you know what you want, you've already defined the limits of what you're willing to have in life. If you have no definition of what you're willing to have, then you can have unlimited things and unlimited possibilities and unlimited everything. What would it be like
So,
to have an unlimited life?
yeah. And so I can give an example that you taught me years ago. I was going to have this conversation. So this is in business, relaxation in business. I was about to have a conversation with a staff member that I had already decided in my world, didn't want to work with us, A, and B, should probably go away. Like, there's no question there. I was just like, this is what should happen. And I said to you, I asked you a question about it, talking with this person, and you said, well, that will get you the result that you think that you need. And I went, holy shit. I was like, you were so right. And you said, what if you go into this conversation not with a result, but with a question and, asking truth in my head, do you actually still want to do this job anymore? And I did that. And it was so easy. And the conversation ended up in a place that I never thought would have existed because it wasn't in my control, result level. So I learned so much from that.
Yeah.
And I see so many people in
Well,
business. Go ahead.
Well, I think you have to look at it from the point of view of what are you trying to accomplish with this? When you ask a question, what is the purpose of the question? To gain awareness or to gain result? And most people do it for result.
Why do you think that is?
Different control. When people are looking for result, they're looking for control. They want it to turn out the way they've decided it should turn out. That has nothing to do with the possibility of what could turn out or show up.
So what is so valuable about control rather than unlimited possibilities that you suggest?
Well, because control is the way most people see that there's a result of living that is valuable to them and could be useful.
So that's like the judgment of this reality. If you can control it enough, you can have the best of this reality, basically.
Yes, and most people want the best of this reality. They don't want a life that they have no control over. They want a life that they can predict and that can be predicted by others and can be seen by others as the life they think it should be.
And if people are listening to this and they're like, nailed it, damn, Gary Douglas, nailed the way I create my life, what are some of the tools that you would suggest for people to start changing this?
Start looking to be in question. It's like when you have a conclusion, you cannot receive anything that doesn't match your conclusion. When you have a judgment, anything that doesn't match your judgment, you cannot receive. So you don't open the doors, you close the doors to possibility in favor of the one thing that would give you control over everything is always knowing the result. And it's like most people, especially in business, try to know the result. They want to know that they can make X amount of dollars. But X amount of dollars is the least amount you can make, not the most.
Well, they make it about money.
Yeah, it's about the money and the amount of money they want to have, not about what could be created or what can be created and what kind of money could occur if they weren't looking from a limited point of view. I'm always looking to how I get unlimited in my point of view. I'm interested in what's the point of view that's creating my reality. I just told this story to you and Dane the other day. Years ago, I went for a walk in Death Valley. Now, Death Valley is a desert. It's very hot. It's very sandy. It's very windy. And it's very cruel. And more people have died there than not. So it's a place where people get lost and die because you have to kind of know where you are. Now, I took off to follow a wild horse herd. And I took off with my Great Dane and my mutt dog. And I'm out there with the mutt dog. I have on a pair of shorts, a t-shirt. I have a knife in my pocket and a can of pineapple juice in my pocket. And that's all I went out with because I wasn't planning on being long. I was just going to follow them for a little while to see where it took me. And so I followed these wild horses with my dogs. And I learned a lot about the wild horses, which was my purpose, quote unquote. But while I was out there, it's like all of a sudden I realized I didn't know where I was and I had no idea how to get to where I belonged. And I went, okay, I need to change something here. I need to find out. So I realized I had to, find some higher ground so I could look around and see where I was so I could see the campground that I was looking for. And I was out there and I was gone for about 4.5 hours. And I looked over and my Great Dane has a tongue that's hanging almost down to the ground, drooling like crazy. And he's hotter than hell because it's the desert. And I'm going, okay, I need to take care of this guy. So I looked around and wondered what I could do to take care of things. And I found some barrel cactus, which barrel cactus are cactus that grow up pulp stuff inside of them that contains water, moisture. And so I cut open the cactus and took out a piece of the stuff, put it in my mouth and ate it to show my dogs what to do. And then I took and I put a piece in my Great Dane's mouth and he spit it out. Ooh, gross. I put it in my mutt dog's mouth. And I put it in the mutt dog and she, chewed it and got moisture out of it. And I went, okay, so I gave her some more. I gave him more. He wouldn't do it. He just spit it out every time I gave it to him. But she would walk over, pick it up off the ground and chew it and eat it and get the moisture out of it. And I did too. I went, God, this dog is going to die if I don't do something. I went, okay, I've got this can of pineapple juice. Let's see if he can drink that. So I gave him the pineapple juice. He drank it, and then he was okay. And then we went for another 3.5 hours to get back to our camp. But I would stop periodically and cut cactus to feed my mutt and me. And he, Great Dane, would not do it. He was too civilized for that kind of stuff. He was too delicate. I don't do that kind of thing. And I thought it was funny because I looked at it and I saw me in that. Here's half of me who has the point of view of, ew, I don't like that. I'm not going to eat that. And then there's the other half was, okay, what's it going to take to survive? What do I have to eat in order to survive? And I was willing to eat anything or do anything to survive. He wasn't. Great Dane wouldn't do that. He would only eat what he chose to eat that would allow him to survive. But it's like his options were much less than me and the mutt dog. And I realized these were two sides of my own personality. Here I was being a delicate friggin' flower and being a survivor. And I went out there and I walked around and I was gone. Turned out I was gone for over 9 hours. My friends were concerned because they had no idea where I was. They had no idea where I'd gone. I had no matches with me. I couldn't light a forest fire or anything to try and show people where I was. It's like it was all just there. And I was available to survive. So I survived it and I did it. But ever since, I've looked at both sides of all coins. What's the survival? What's the possibility? Which one do I want to choose? Which one is going to be the one that's going to open the most possibility for us and create a place where I survive and I thrive when nobody else does. Sorry.
Okay. Well, one of the things thank you so much for that. I've heard that story so many times, and the way that you spoke about that to me yesterday with Dane, I was like, wow, what a download. That there's this like pivotal moment in your life where you get to see both sides of yourself. The one where it's like, I don't want to do that. And to me, it's so much this reality. I'm only going to drink pineapple juice from this can and whatever. And the other one is like, hey, let's use what's around us and know that we're okay. And one of the things that you asked yesterday was, if you woke up tomorrow and everything in your life was gone, like everything you ever knew that was gone, what would you choose? And for me, it was like, I went, oh, I'd open my eyes up and I would look at the world with fresh eyes. And I would always choose, I would always
Yeah.
create, but what would that be? So can you talk about that and the willingness to lose everything? Because I know a lot of people don't get that when we talk about
Well,
that.
yeah. Well, the thing is from my point of view, it's like my dog was willing to die rather than eat something he didn't want to eat. Okay. And so that was like me. I was trying to only eat the good things and only have the right answers and only do the right things. And my mutt dog would do whatever it took to survive. I realized I needed to be that. And I also needed to be this other thing. So I could begin to choose what would create more in my life than not. And I wanted to have more in every aspect of living than I'd ever had before. And I was interested in everything. I was interested in how everything worked. And I always had been curious and interested. And it's like, and I realized today, as we're talking about this, I realized, I still have the point of view. I'm interested. I'm interested in what people choose. I'm interested in how people choose. I'm interested in how they see the world and how they choose what they're going to choose. And it's like, it's amazing to me how few people are interested. People want to be interesting. They think if they're interesting, then people will take care of them. If they're interesting, then we know that somebody's going to feed us pineapple juice.
Wow.
And
And then
it's
that
not
goes,
true.
no, it sort of circles back to what you were saying at the beginning about unlimited possibilities. So if you find
Yeah.
yourself interesting and then you go, well, now I get pineapple juice, but you've just limited the possibilities.
Yes. But if you're interesting and you get pineapple juice, you can't survive in other places or in other ways. And so it's like I'm always looking for how I can expand the possibilities of what might be available because that's more interesting to me.
So one of the things that you said too is, I mean, you've spoken to me about this many times and you were talking about it yesterday as well, is that willingness to be alone. Can you talk about that as well? What that is to you?
Yeah, because what I realized is, it's like when you have the willingness to be alone, it's like my Great Dane couldn't stand to be alone. He had to follow me wherever I went, even though it could cost him his life.
Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boom, poking the bear there.
Yeah. But he wasn't interested in being interested in anything. He was just interested in following me. And I saw that as even the way people create relationships. They follow somebody no matter how good it is or bad it is. They just follow them. They don't actually choose what's going to create something greater or bigger or more wonderful.
Well, they do that with
That's of no
relationships,
interest.
family, money, business, like all of these things that they've
Everything.
decided are the greatness of this reality rather than what's beyond that.
Yeah.
Mm.
All the good things, yes. And I don't look
Hey,
for what's the good things. I look for what the things that'll work are.
I know you always have. You always have. And I am like, no matter what it takes, I love access consciousness so much. I've done a bunch of things this morning and I was just like, my God, how did we get so lucky to have these tools and to be creating something entirely different? And oh God, 21 years I've been using these tools. My life changes all the time. And then boom, it's like something else shows up and I'm like, okay, it's like sludge or really uncomfortable, but it's like, I have the tools, I have the willingness to choose. Like our choice is just so potent of what we can choose next. And one of the things that you were talking to me about recently as well, had a few conversation, is this like when people try and make something right and wrong, and then therefore, controlling what can show up, etc. There was one piece that we were talking about that I went, ooh, it was just like this. You can be right and wrong in a nanosecond, but don't, like, if you sit in it and you get stuck in it, that's when it's a limitation rather than, for example, you're driving along on the freeway and then all of a sudden you go, oh, move lanes from awareness and there's a car comes screaming down or something. Okay, so you made the right choice to move lanes. Is that how you would describe that?
Yeah.
But as soon as someone starts making it right, then they
Yeah.
go into the proving of it.
then they have to prove it was right by doing something in order to prove it was right. Whereas for me, I just go, okay, change lanes, done. And it's like, and I don't think about it again. But I don't
Yes.
actually think about much of anything.
No, I know. So how would you describe how you be in the world without thinking?
How I be in the world is by choosing always. Choice creates, it's like if you choose, if you choose a piece of gum and you chew it and it pulls your fillings out, that was a choice. You made a piece, you decided to chew bubble gum, and therefore it pulled your filling out. Now you have to go to the dentist, you have to have a new filling, you have to do this. And those are all horrible things from my point of view. I don't like the dentist. I am an anti-dentist person, but I still go every 3 months. It's like they torture me in there from my point of view. And I always forget to breathe. I have to remember to breathe, and I have to have one of them tell me, breathe, Gary, breathe. Because I just forget.
Oh, that is too funny. Okay. Yeah. And it's like every choice you make creates, and you get to choose your reality. So I know. Well, we've sort of covered a bunch of topics, which is very typical for you, Gary, and me, I guess. And I'd like to sort of circle back around to this relaxation. And if you're being relaxation with your, excuse me, like your bodies, what could show up, or what?
Okay, well, let me get this. Let me see if this example will. Okay. When you're having sex, in order to reach a climax, you have to relax.
Yeah.
If you make it, if you pump harder and harder, what you tend to do is you tend to get tenser. And the more tension there is, the less quickly you come.
Yeah.
What would it be like if you could come with ease? If you relax, then it's much easier to actually have an orgasm.
And that too.
And if you relax, it's like a woman relaxing. It's like I had a woman that I was with once who, as she came closer to orgasm, she would tighten up her body and get rigid, preparing to orgasm. And I would stop and I'd go, okay, relax. Okay? Just relax. And then I'd start nibbling on her clitoris very gently, very slowly, and slowly build her up. When she would get too intense, I'd stop again and start again. And I did that. And when she finally came, it's like it rocked her world because it was done from relaxation, not from tension.
You're rocking my
world.
Most
people are unaware of that. A good lover will make you relax.
Yeah. Yeah. And the energy of you talking about that too, it's like, anyone listening to this, it's like, what if you allowed yourself to receive the energy that Gary is actually talking about? And what you're also downloading me with is that so much relaxation and unlimited receiving with that, which you mentioned, unlimited possibilities before. So unlimited receiving as well. And what else is possible? Yeah. Well, you made my body all warm and yummy.
Good. You want to go out and have sex now?
Yes. A few other things to do first. No. Thank you so much, Gary. There's no words to describe the gratitude I have for you. It's just abounding in so many ways. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Is there anything else that you want to add on here?
Yeah. What would it be like if you relaxed yourself into receiving so much money you were too rich to ever lose it?
and everything. It doesn't allow that to show up. Destroy and uncreate it. Times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad. Proc and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, proverbids, and beyonds. Love it. And the new clearing statement link is out. You can go to theclearingstatement.com, and there's I think it's a fun video with myself and Dr. Dane here talking about the clearing statement and what the hell it means. It's as weird and wacky as what we are. So there you go. So Gary, thank you so much for joining me here. It's just such a pleasure, and I won't see you really soon, but I'll see you soonish.
Soonish is very good. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary. Mwah.
Thank you. Take care, sweet thing. Bye-bye.
Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes, and lastly, have way too much fun today.